TGCRequiem. We are here with Modern Abzan Traverse. We're going to be on the play. I think I'm okay with this. Not necessarily the greatest hand ever, but we can definitely lead with Marsh Flats. Go get a Swamp, Thoughtseize, plan to turn, turn to Treetop Village, and Thoughtseize again. Oh, and hey, the person is saying, hey, they love my vids. That's super nice. I always love to see that. I think this is keepable. It's not necessarily the most explosive hand, but I think we have enough disruption, and then we'll be able to kind of slide into a turn 3 Lingering Souls pretty good. So, yeah, we'll keep here. Alright, Eldrazi Tron. Where's this tower? Seagate Wreckage. I think at this point we probably just take the Expedition map. They don't really have any way to cast anything save their one Walking Ballista. We're going to Thoughtseize again next turn, so we can take Ballista, Reality Smasher, or Matter Reshaper, whatever we need. But at the moment, I think we just take the Expedition map and make it so they have no guaranteed way of hitting their third land, and make it difficult to probably get to a Reality Smasher. So they did pick up their next land. Still can't cast Matter Reshaper this turn. We'll be able to get into Lingering Souls. I think Smasher is really the biggest concern of the cards. We can actually path a Matter Reshaper if we needed to. This is a 1-for-1 if we get rid of the Reality Smasher now. Alright, so opponent's got a Ballista here. Can't imagine they're gonna end up wasting the first point throwing it at on one of the Lingering Souls. Still a couple cards away from being able to traverse for anything. We could also just consider, instead of playing Lingering Souls, we could just consider running Treetop Village in at the opponent this turn. Collective Brutality is alright. I don't know that I really want to throw. And all the threats that they have at the moment are, well, they already have Tron, so they actually played their power plant. Was it the power plant? Or yeah, they played the power plant out, which actually gives us a little more information. So they can actually run both Matter Reshapers next turn. We can't really do anything about that, so we do have to consider then Walking Ballista could actually get pumped. So we may want to collect a Brutality here. And we can plan to path one of the Matter Reshapers. Lingering Souls after that. That doesn't seem great. The opponent has 2 lands. We can't really I mean, we could escalate, but I think we'd rather have 4 Lingering Souls. We could also spend this turn to traverse, but I think I'd almost rather just kind of buy some. I mean, we don't really want to buy time. We don't want to spend 2 points. I think we're going to have to, though. I mean, the Matter Reshaper is going to do 3 points, so taking the 2 points off the temple is fine. So I'm pretty sure we'll just plan to path, because we definitely want to make sure that we can cast Lingering Souls next turn. We don't really want to ramp our opponent up, but let's be honest, at this point, they already have all the mana that they need. And we're starting to get a little light on life. Oh, so actually, Scavenging Ooze might be better than Lingering Souls at this point. I think I'm going to run it out there now, actually. And got a couple creatures to eat. We'll take a little bit of lumps this turn. Certainly not going to trade the Scavenging Ooze here. Opponent knows that. So they're going to come swinging in. I do find that game 1 of this matchup is really not in our favor. The Scavenging Ooze certainly plays a big part in the ability to get there. So we're starting to put enough of a clock on that we might be able to pressure our opponent into not attacking us. They again played another land. Can't imagine that they've drawn a whole lot here. I suppose there is one card we don't know about. I don't think we need to attack with the Flayer at this point. We can put enough pressure on with the Ooze. Ooh, All is Dust. It's a good one. Oh boy. We're definitely not firing up Treetop Village. I think it's best just to hold Lingering Souls for the moment. So they're gonna go just, yeah, they're just gonna go straight for the All is Dust. That's fine. We'll get a little bit of life here. Opponent did play out the Seagate Wreckage. They still have one card we don't know about. At this point I would almost feel like it just has to be another land. So we can actually traverse here. Liliana is pretty great as well. Reality Smasher, though, I'd almost rather save Liliana for Reality Smasher. So I think here we're just going to go ahead and run out the Lingering Souls and then traverse into another threat. For next turn. Pretty certain we're just going with a Tarmogoyf here, as it's big enough to rumble with whatever they have. Opponent is really flooding out here. It's unfortunate for them. So this is nice. This will allow us to activate Treetop Village and play Tarmogoyf. And that puts us at 9, 10, 11. Power on board this next turn. If they get a creature... No, That's, I guess they're gonna basically Seagate Wreckage, maybe Mind Stone for another card. So again, being that we're not favored in the first game against this opponent or this matchup, we're certainly thrilled about how this is going. So it looks like maybe a Karn. Yep, so we'll lose the Tarmogoyf, but we'll be able to kill it with the Treetop Village. Let's get one more draw with the Seagate Wreckage. Still access to 4 mana. If they got like a Thought-Knot Seer, that would be pretty brutal right now. So I think especially with the path, unfortunately I only have 2 black mana sources, so we can't flashback Lingering Souls. We need to be able to kill the, yeah. So we'll have that attack Karn. I suppose we could have cast Lingering Souls, flashed it back there, but I feel like I'd rather hold up the path at this point. I want to make sure our Lily is kind of clear. Our opponent just continues to flood. 9, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 land, or 21 mana available. Pretty crazy. So again, just we're gonna save the Lily. Punch in 5, stick the other Tarmogoyf. Again, this kind of keeps us clear. If they all is dust again, we still have access to Treetop Village and then the ability to flash back another Lingering Souls. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's a whole bunch our opponent can do. Depending, I don't know what they have in hand. They'd have to be able to discard a card to draw Seagate Wreckage, but I mean, they pretty much, I mean, they're dead even if they draw on all his dust at this point. And the opponent's just gonna concede at this point. Fortunately for them, they just were on the wrong side of variance this game. Alright, so post board, I feel like we are a lot better off. Updated the sideboard a little bit due to the popularity of Eldrazi Tron and Grixis Shadow, bringing in more more big creatures that push can't really hit. This is why we're running 3 path over the 4th, or I guess the 3rd path over the 4th push right now. We are definitely bringing in Big Game Hunter and Shriekmaw as ways to help attack the creatures. Damnation's also going to be good here. Reclamation can be quite good against this deck. They can try and get at you with Chalice of the Void, or sometimes you can even use it to just go bust down their Mind Stones. Don't really feel like we need to bring in Fulminator in this matchup. Eidolon's not necessary. Kataki's not necessary. I think that's pretty much it. Collective Brutality. I could see pulling maybe a couple Inquisition, unless we're really concerned about... I think we're going to probably pull a couple Push here. Pull at least one Inquisition. Question is whether or not we want Collective Brutality for all its dust. That's really the only target that we're concerned about. I like pretty much the rest of this. I guess Liliana could still win the game for us for Kerr, but it's not the best Liliana in the matchup. So we want the Abrupt Decays to help take care of Chalice of the Void. I think this is pretty much what we're going to run. Don't feel like there's a whole lot more we want to do here. Kalitas is not the greatest, but doesn't match up well with a lot of their creatures. I suppose it's technically pretty good against Matter Reshaper. But it can help stabilize, similar to Scavenging Ooze. We're going to keep this. I actually... We need to draw a little well. Suppose if they Chalice, all they're doing is stopping our Traverse. We may even just want to just use the Traverse to go get a land right off the bat. The problem with going and getting lands here is one, we're going to get a creature, we could get an instant and a sorcery. I mean, we could potentially turn it on, but I think I just want to draw lands at this point. Try and increase our odds of hitting other cards. I don't love taking basics here. The opponent's probably running Ghost Quarter. No real pressure here to do anything but play a creature. Kind of going to expect to see a Reality Smasher with this temple, or the map rather. Going to probably go get another temple, and then I would see Reality Smasher swinging in for 5, but we do have Shriek Maw. So I actually went and got Urza's Tower, so it looks like they're probably pretty close to hitting Tron, perhaps. Relic is an annoying card for this deck. So what we're going to do here, we're actually going to make sure we get access to a green mana source first. Then we're going to play our Scavenging Ooze, and that way if they don't crack the Relic, we can eat the Flayer, gain a little life. Suppose I'm actually okay with making the press now, putting them on it. We'd rather them just use their Relic, and we're okay if If they crack it now, that's better for us. Oh, so they're actually going to go with another Dismember. Okay. We're getting close to the point where we're going to be able to hard cast Shriekmaw in another couple turns. We definitely have the mana to do it. Opponent's probably going to Thought Not Seer here. Well, I guess with Eldrazi Temple they could have in a previous turn. Smasher time. Opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. Another Traverse. Based on the fact that our opponent's down to 2 cards in hand, I'd almost rather save the Shriekmaw, take one more hit from the Smasher. I mean, if they have a second Smasher, that's unfortunate. We can hold up Marsh Flats. For Fatal Push in case they get a Thought Not Seer. Plan to Shriekmaw next turn off the swamp. And this allows us to get a sideways Shockland this turn. Extra Relic. Really, with the double relic, there's almost no way that we are going to be able to really turn like a Grimflayer, Tarmogoyf, you know, the Delirium off of Traverse on. So we could Inquisition here, but we really just need to cast the Shriekmaw. Hope that our opponent doesn't have anything in hand. The opponent's going to use their first relic here to draw into another card. Perhaps there's a tiny chance we can still grind something out here. They're up to 5 lands and a 6 mana off Mind Stone, so if they really don't have anything going on, they could possibly crack their Mind Stone or the second relic here to try and get something else. Looks like we're going to get another Smasher, maybe an Endbringer. Oh, they're going to go for an All's Dust, get rid of the Shriekmaw. Alright, so Tarmogoyf's a pretty great draw here. Ghost Quarter. They don't have a whole lot. I'm just going to go ahead and draw out another land just to increase the odds that we hit something more meaningful. We still have access to push if we crack a Verdant Catacombs. So we knew the opponent had a Ghost Quarter. Smasher. So that's probably just going to be the end of it for us. I suppose we could draw our big game hunter. I would assume that, I mean, we can't even really crack the fetch here. If we crack the fetch, we go down to 4. They exile Relic of Progenitus, and then there's 4 trample damage. So we just have to kind of take our lumps here, hope to draw a Liliana or a big game hunter. And then we're just going to concede because we don't really have the time to play this one out. I mean, we already know we're going to lose. So let's get on to game 3 and save ourselves a little time on the clock. Sorry, I've been not unfortunately, it's been nice, but talking to the opponent a bit on the first game, and so it just kind of led to, I don't want to say wasted time, but a little more time being used than maybe was needed. So I think we're going to probably bring in the Inquisition. Relic is a little problematic, so if we can kind of pinch on that, that would be great. And I think we might actually pull out Liliana, the Last Hope. And I think beyond that, I'm pretty happy with where we're at. So we'll be on the play for the last game here. Hand, land heavy. We don't really have any great way to turn on. Sorry, I'm scratching my arm there right in front of the mic. We don't really have. 5 lands is a lot. I mean, this deck is pretty land light, but you don't really have a way to sculpt. I do like Big Game Hunter here, though, and getting a Tarmogoyf down early, almost certainly going to start to grow a little bit. I think we're just going to keep... This may be a terrible keep. So we'll plan to run out of Swamp next and Tarmogoyf for turn 2. Well, that's unfortunate. And this is why I don't usually keep these sort of hands. So they'll end up cracking the Expedition map probably after we attack next turn. We're definitely going to crack the Marsh Flats just to at least get 1 power out of our Tarmogoyf. So they do have Tron. We're gonna be up against a wall here. Power plant on top. And then our opponent will fetch for their tower, and then we're just really hoping that they don't drop a Karn. Karn might be game over at this point. Lingering Soul's pretty good here. Mindstone into Smasher. We just really don't want a Thought-Knot Seer. Yeah, so Big Game Hunter is going to be the target here. So we do need access to 3 black mana, so we are going to go Overgrown Tomb. We're going to lead on Thoughtseize. Expedition Map and lands. Abrupt Decay is pretty good here against that Basilisk Caller. Opponent unfortunately didn't draw something they liked, so they cycled the Mind Stone. Ballista. And I assume they're going to go with the Basilisk Caller. Pick off our army. So they didn't play any of the lands, so we know what they have in hand here. While they're tapped out, the question is whether or not we want to Abrupt Decay the Ballista or the Basilisk Caller. I think we have to get rid of the Basilisk. Well, the thing is if they draw into... I guess we can kind of just wait and see at this point. Did I play out of land already? Not bad. I think if we play... I mean, they can throw something on the Ballista no matter what. There's not a whole lot we can do against that. If they end up spending their whole turn putting the mana into the Ballista, we could just kill the Ballista in response. They're still left with the Basilisk Caller, of which we don't have a whole lot of ways to interact with it, whereas we have more ways to interact with the creatures. Alright, so I think here we're just going to go after the Ballista. This will save us a couple points of damage. And then hopefully they have something left over in that hand for us to get with the Thoughtseize. Oops. Three lands. I almost feel like Reclamation Sage is the best pickup at this point, which sounds terrible. Scavenging Ooze could be big, but again, if they draw into a Walking Ballista, the Basilisk Collar presents all sorts of problems. We only have 1, 2, 3 answers, so I think we're just going to get the Reclamation Sage now. And we need to pick up the pace here. Down to 5 minutes. Spending too much time trying to play well, only to lose due to going to time. Not necessarily the greatest thing. So unfortunately, I mean, it's not like it's the worst card there, not the best either. We're going to play the land out just in case we, say, draw into like a Tarmogoyf and we need to cast the Damnation followed by a Tarmogoyf. With Kalitas on the battlefield, Damnation becomes a little better because even if we have to wipe the board of our own creatures, we're going to get some zombies out of it. I'm not going to use Liliana, we'd prefer to save the Damnation. Ratchet Bomb's a little slow for them, unfortunately, on their side. So starting to use Ghost Quarters to thin their deck of lands. That's not what you want to be doing. And then just fingers crossed. So, you know, Tron's a powerful deck, but I mean, you can't see the opponent, what they were saying. But basically, they feel like they've run through some bad luck with it. The deck, the deck is very powerful, but it does have, from my experience against it, just a bit more built-in variance. Certainly you can just have some explosive draws. Sometimes you're just gonna flood out. I mean, we probably got a little lucky. We're probably running a little lighter on lands with the 19, and you know, we kept a 5-land hand. I believe that was this game. Yeah, and I just, you know, sometimes you take those chances, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot of play. I shouldn't say there isn't any play to the deck. I haven't played it, so I can't truly speak to it. But I feel like, you know, most of the cards are just big and powerful, but there's not a ton of cards that offer a lot of play when you don't kind of curve out well. So Unfortunate for the opponent, but we appreciate the game and the match, and then we'll see you at the next match. On the left-hand side, you have a link to the next match in the league, and on the right to a playlist for Abzan Traverse. And if you'd like it, you can subscribe in the middle. Thanks again.